My name is Deirdre Hawthorne. I'm a florist for over 35 years. I've run my own business. I've reinvented myself by going into teaching in 2005. So I teach floristry to adults. I live in Cavan in Ireland, and I enjoy very much the process of teaching people and seeing people enjoying my work. There's been a revival in the use of flowers and the use of them in decoration, not only in people's homes, but also as gifts and ways of expressing ourselves. I've brought along some pieces of my work that I do and I sell through local farmers markets in my own area. And I usually try and take inspiration from my local locality, my garden, going on walks, whether I'm in the woodlands or beach. I'm always looking out to see what I can forage and what I can find. Here I've brought along a wreath that I made up, which is completely sustainable. It's all locally foraged in my own environment, my own garden, except for the lovely voile ribbon that I've used. I've got a base, which is a wire copper ring, and onto that I've attached some moss, which helps with retaining moisture for the flowers that I've used. I've used a selection of foliages along with a purple hydrangea and some hypericum berries and some Acamela mollis. And that would last probably on somebody's door for maybe 3 to 4 weeks. If it was given more water, it would last a lot longer. But as it dries out, it's also something that you can enjoy it for another couple of months, but it will start to lose some of its vibrance in its colour. But again, it can be dismantled and there's no damage to the environment. There's been nothing used that's been chemical based. And there's a lot of demand for that type of work that I've been doing. Very, very popular as a craft for teaching people that they can do themselves. It's an easy task to learn as a group. It's a very social group activity to do. I've taught this quite a few times. People have come together and enjoyed the process and then the conversation that surrounds it, and then they go home with a finished product, but they also have now got a skill that they can reproduce that if they wish to at home. Traveling on holiday, you often see things that are outside your normal environment. And a trip to the beach inspired me to collect some driftwood, also some shells at a beach in Sligo. And my intention with these will be to incorporate them again into a wreath that's completely sustainable and will last a lot longer, because nothing here obviously is going to die or break down so quickly. So this will be far more sustainable. But the work involved in making that will be a little bit more intricate, that I'll have to wire and maybe use some glues to get them to stay together. So, but you can just as easily in the autumn travel through woodland in your area, collecting twigs and mosses, berries, anything like that, and you can make sustainable wreaths. As part of my business, I also make wreaths for doors, very, very popular in the last year or two. These are made using a willow base, which is fully biodegradable. Unfortunately, the foliages and the flowers that are used in this aren't, but they're of a high quality. They don't fade easily. They last very, very well. They are fully waterproof, so they can be out on your front door, or they can be used inside as well. So again, they have a long life expectancy from those type of wreaths. I also, in my business of teaching to adults, I try to instill the skills that I've accomplished and I've built up over my years into people who wish to retrain or change their career paths. And I've had a lot of people who've been able to start up small cottage businesses at home, either supplying wedding events or growing their own flowers or their own shrubs and their own herbaceous plants, and being able to run a little business of their own with the skills that I teach them. I find that really, really rewarding, and it partners up very well with the market work that I do with my wreaths. And I get a lot of enjoyment out of having people coming back to me saying that they got the confidence to maybe open their own flower shop or their own business from having done some of my courses that I've taught. I've taught both with our local education department for adult education, and I've done some craft teaching as well with another crafter where we've come together, where she runs a business, and the two have just matched up nicely on occasions. We've worked in partnership in that regard. So it's great to get feedback, and I've been teaching now since 2005. So I've nearly lost count of how many people that I've inspired, if you like to say. I've kind of inspired them. I hope that my short interview with you has given you an idea of what is available to maybe take your skills a little bit further. Education is important, but a love of nature and a love of being creative are your first steps. After that, the basic skills you learn, then you take it on further as to how you develop them that's the fun part, and nobody can tell you how that story is going to end. So thank you very much for taking the time to look at my little video clip and have a look at some of my work. And I hope that you find it a little bit inspiring and that you enjoy your